Hi everyone, I'm Crystal, and today I am going to replant my Calathea. This is a Calathea Warscewiczii. I do have her in a terracotta pot and also with some Spanish moss on the top. Now the moss is really just a decorative kind of look because she's inside. Now the issue that I'm having with this plant in the last several days, her leaves started curling up a lot. Her leaves started curling, she got a lot of brown. Some of the leaves were like actually snapped. I think that was my cat. So this is where I pulled one of those off. But then I also had a brand new leaf that was coming up, and it was totally like half brown, I guess I would say. I have those leaves, so let me grab them really quick and I will show you. Okay, so these are the two leaves that came off. This is the new leaf that is like super brown on the edges. She was snapped right here, and I don't know exactly why. I want to blame it on the cat, but I'm not sure because this Calathea is not in good condition. But even on the inside of her leaf, it's like soggy and brown. So it wasn't just her edges, it's also the inside. And this is that other one that came off, and it's got these markings, which I think is maybe the cat messed with it, because I don't remember seeing anything like this before. It also had some pretty brown edges that I managed to kind of like just cut off and leave the leaf shape, but I'm worried because I really like this plant and I don't want it to die. So we're gonna repot it. We're gonna check out the roots, make sure there's a lot of aeration in the soil. This plant is probably about 4 months old, so maybe she needs to be repotted. Maybe it's possible that I didn't give her a very good aerated soil and then she just kind of like compacted. I'm not 100% sure. So we're gonna look at her roots. We're also gonna see if it's possible to separate the rhizomes, because I've just started to dabble into leca, and I wanna kind of try and see how the Calathea will grow in leca, and ideally more humidity. I live in Los Angeles. My house is typically over 50% humidity, and then sometimes it goes down to like 40-ish, 35 at the lowest. But this plant has never had a problem with that. I did keep her too close to the window one time and she like curled up, and this is kind of like the end of the summer, so the sun is going farther down and I have an awning over my windows. So the sun started to hit her through the window, and then of course I knew that I needed to move her. And that was a few weeks ago, and she was good ever since. So we will see. Let me adjust the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I have here, this is just soil really. I mean, it's Kellogg's Garden Soil Premium Patio Soil, and it's 50% soil and 50% perlite. Now perlite does hold on to moisture, but it does also help with drainage, and obviously I want my plants to drain well because I don't want to get root rot. And if I didn't want this plant to hold on to any moisture, then really what I would do is plant it with some pumice, because pumice isn't going to hold on to moisture. Now she's not really root rot. I mean, her roots are growing over here. Let's move some of this soil away. So she definitely doesn't have a lot of perlite, but she's also not super wet either. I mean, the last time I watered her was like maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And that's when I noticed she was curling, and I thought, oh gosh, I didn't water her. And I thought her curling was from that, but she should have perked up quite a bit from there. Okay, so I don't want to break her roots or damage her. I'm just going to try to like loosen it up. It could also probably be that when I did get this plant and I did repot it, that I didn't take out her old soil, but she's been doing super well in between there, so maybe that's not it and I'm just trying to make excuses. Her roots look pretty good, but I need her to loosen up. I want to try and get all of this dirt off. She was planted in peat moss before, which is never really good to plant pots just directly into peat moss. One, because their roots can't breathe, and maybe that was her problem. Maybe she just realized, like, holy crap, I need to get out of these and I can't breathe. I don't know. We will see. Her roots don't seem rotted, so that's good. It's not a sign of root rot. It's not necessarily a sign of humidity, because she was doing just fine every other time. I checked her up really good for spider mites, and I didn't find anything either. I did just have a battle with spider mites, so I've been looking at like all of my plants like crazy. Maybe she was just too root bound in this little ball. I don't know. I'm going to go to the sink and see if I can wash off a bit more of her soil, because it's kind of difficult to get out of here. And I'll be right back with clean roots. Okay, so I have washed her off, and her roots actually look really good. And I don't really see any signs of rot. I didn't wash her off totally because I'm not sure which rhizome I am going to take apart for leca. So let's see. Just don't know what is wrong with this plant. Why is she so sad on me? Just trying to clean her up a little bit. Is this a different rhizome? Why can't I tell? Oh, I hope I'm not killing her. Please don't say I'm killing her. Okay, good. There's a pretty good amount of roots here. So I think maybe I am going to put this one in leca. And I'll wash her off a little bit more. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now, our leaves are getting tangled. Okay. So here's what we've got. I am going to go ahead and pot her back up into the same terracotta pot. Yeah, her roots look really good. I don't know what the heck is wrong with her. But at least we've crossed that off the list. So I'm going to go ahead and pot her up into this potting mix. So first thing I'm going to do is take out the old stuff. And then I always have this little pot of broken terracotta. And I will just take a few pieces and drop them over the hole so the dirt does not fall out as easily. We will put some dirt in there. That seems to be pretty good. Now, because we cleaned all of her roots off, there will be a lot of air pockets down there on the bottom. So what we'll want to do is once we backfill, kind of like, I don't know, take your finger and I like push down and in just to make sure that the soil is also getting underneath where all those holes in the roots were. Also can tap it into place. So if I didn't mention already, this is a Calathea Warscewiczii. It has a very velvety leaf, and it's burgundy underneath. This was my second Calathea. My first one was a medallion, this one was my second. And this is actually the only problem I've ever had with Calatheas. I know a lot of people say that they're pretty finicky. I haven't had any issues yet, knock on wood, and hopefully I won't. And maybe I will do another video on maybe I'll do another video and give you a tour of my prayer plant collection. So once I've done this, I'm actually just really kind of taking off all of that, the extra perlite on the top. One, I think it looks really ugly once it all starts floating to the top. And two, I don't necessarily need it all on the top. I really want it to be in the soil. Yep, okay. So that is good. She is standing up pretty good. So I will keep an eye on her and then give you guys an update in a few days or so. See if she springs back, if her ends stop curling in. Alright. And that's that. Thanks for watching.